So much change has happened this last year, and it's hard to keep it together, right? You can't remember the last time you've seen someone's actual face in public. You haven't enjoyed a meal inside a restaurant in over a year. The politicized news and charged social media posts are robbing you of your inner peace. You now feel sharp concern at the mere sound of a sneeze or cough nearby. The political situation leaves you uncertain about your very way of life and how it will be affected by future laws and legislation. The violence erupting in the streets provokes disapproval towards your fellow citizens, but addressing the controversial nature of their causes paralyzes you from any productive discussions with supporters. There's word on the street of a new normal, but you are perfectly content with the way things were before. Just how on earth are you expected to keep it together? How can you deal with all of the change? Is it possible to fight the new normal? Well, here's the positive approach. It's important to understand the truth about a new normal. It's not something that happens with a public announcement. It's a part of life that happens every day. You see, the new normals, the change, it's happening all the time. Many people don't notice change because they only focus on life's milestones rather than the very steps of their journey. Every day you wake up, your body one day older, very slightly different than it was the day before. You aren't mindful of all of the little changes until you look in the mirror one day and find your reflection significantly different than you remembered years ago. The truth is, change ebbs and flows in every facet of life, in every moment. Every new idea you have, new truth you learn, changes who you are. The constant decay and recycling of energy for all life forms on this planet exhibits the never-ending status of change. It's ironic, really, that change is the only constant. At the heart of the matter, the reluctance towards undesired change means you're unwilling to appreciate the present for what it is. Now, at first, we justify not being appreciative because of the loss and pain we undergo, and then compare the pains of the present moment to a more favorable time from the past, a more pleasant time. In a way, we try to recreate the past again, to make our memories tangible and reappear before our very eyes. But that's not the way life works. The past is an idea, a vestigial experience interpreted by our senses and younger mind of something that once was, but no longer is there. Until we invent a flux capacitor and mount it to a 1983 DeLorean, we must learn to let go of the past, of the things we can no longer recreate. Spending your time reliving past moments in the present will only result in continued pain, difficulty, and dissatisfaction. We can always revisit the past in our memories, and that's good. But to dwell on the past or the future only robs us of the present. Celebrate the past, revisit it, but don't overindulge on those visitations. Don't let them rob you of appreciating the present moment where your consciousness truly resides. Have a funeral for what was, ceremonially even. In your mind, give it its proper time, but then return to the now. So then how do we embrace the present when doing so brings new difficulties, new misfortunes, new unpleasant experiences? First, don't base your contentment on whether difficulty is present in your life or not. It's unrealistic in the human experience to expect life without any difficulty, great or small. Your contentment and inner peace should come from within. It should begin in your soul, from your thoughts about yourself, and then flow through you to the outside world. Reversing this process, letting outside circumstances define your contentment, means you will become dependent on others to create your contentment for you. While this is tempting in its convenience, again, it's unrealistic, unhealthy, and ultimately guarantees disappointment and dissatisfaction. You have the power to produce contentment within yourself. You can do this independently. So regardless of who is president or prime minister, or the status of your relationship, or how much is in your bank account, or what government you have to live under, or what you've lost along the journey of life, your center is firmly rooted in the rich soil of higher thinking. God is real, and you have the nature of God residing within you. He is the source of life and peace and stability, and because you share a deep connection with Him, even though you may not acknowledge God's existence, you have everything you will ever need. And no amount of change in this life can change that truth. You are connected to the source of life and the source of contentment. So how do you deal with change? Leave the past in the past. Revisit it, but don't overindulge in visitations. And accept that right now you have everything you need for inner contentment within yourself because of your connection with God. When you've established these principles at the foundation of your worldview, you will be able to approach the challenges of the present one by one and continue to work towards positive change within yourself. Because you may not be able to completely improve your environment or others, or your government, but you can improve yourself. And in doing so, you begin to improve the world around you, little by little, one step at a time. Stay positive. Good things are always present.